Hey everybody, I'm here on a shoot in Ipswich and I thought it would be a good idea just to share with you before we set off, or before I set off rather, just to show you the C300 rig that I use and how I rig the camera. I'm going to use my little trusted G7X to take you around the other camera here. So I'll occasionally switch back to this camera, but for the main part I'll show you with this camera. How does that sound? Alright loves. Here's the camera that I'm using today. It's kind of my preferred camera, although I would much rather shoot on a Sony f800 if anything, because it's got 4 channels of audio input. But the C300 here, I have a lens. I asked for, it's a 24 to 105 Canon zoom. As you can see, stabilization is on, and I have also left it in manual, obviously. Take the cap off. Well, I won't even bother. Well, why not? Why not take the cap off? So it's pretty standard how I use this. I'll start at the back here. I don't fiddle too much with these cameras when I get them. This is a higher camera from a company called Procam. And they always do a very good job of supplying this kit. They've supplied these headphones, which I probably won't use. What are they? They're K451s by, and they've covered up the maker. It's in the top. AKG. What's AKG headphones? AKG are a good audio company, so maybe they are good. Not for me though. Too much background noise getting in there, so I use Bose with noise reduction in. Big chunky battery. They've taken the door off here. Normally there's a little door to close down on that, and that's been removed, which is excellent. Just check the battery. You can see it's got 4 lights. That means it's cracking and good to go. The viewfinder I do use sometimes, but I will probably use the monitor, which is at the top, but that has its own problems. I have 2 cards in here. They've been initialized and are good to go by, come on, don't give me a hard time. There you go. I choose the slot here, and I always put it onto the top slot first. Oh, I'm thinking of 305, so there's normally an indicator there to tell you what slots I've chosen. So that's what I do. Now some people are quite happy for when this card's full up for it just to bounce onto there. That will happen, but I will tend to always kind of stop recording whatever I'm recording before the end of a card, like a minute before, 2 minutes before, and then pick it up, then switch the slot here, and then pick it up on the next card. Just because there's a danger of corruption. It's happened to me before, and so I just do it as a matter of safety. This side of the camera, it's all fairly straightforward. You've got your start, stop, select. You've got your these are the main areas I mess around with. So this is the color temperature. So that I use that to adjust the color temperature, and I use this function button here a lot as well to change my settings. That with this function button I can get to my ISO, I can get to my aperture, and I can also, what else can I do? I can get to, well, you'll see, I'll show you, shall I? And then this here, of course, is for the color temperature, which I sometimes manually adjust. I don't always go for it as it is offered. I can change the volume of the headphones here, up and down. I've got zebras, peaking, and the dreaded magnifier button, which is very easy to forget you've got that compressed, because when that is in, it zooms in the picture, and you can be filming and filming and filming, and the zoomed in aspect of what you're filming is not recorded onto the cards. So that is a big bad boy. Double check, make sure you're not using the magnifier. It's good for checking your focus, but it's a disaster if you leave it in while you're recording. And this is for like waveform monitors down here. As I said, the zebra and the peaking. I always have peaking on because I don't trust the monitor. The monitor's not top quality as far as I can tell. It's the same monitor you get, I think, with the EX3. But I'm sure there'll be people out there who can correct me on that. And this here is your ND filters. Okay. Camera obviously to record the camera, and media obviously to browse your media. The other side here is a whole mess of cables. These 2 at the top, the cables are actually labeled 1 and 2, and these wires here connect to this unit, and the handle and this unit, forget the microphone, forget these radio packs, they are powered by the main body of the camera and connected by these 2 cables. So it's a bit of a shame, because it'd be quite nice just to use this camera without this garbage on the top. But do I need to do that? Do I need to have that there? Well, I do if I want to have this. and I do if I want to have audio going into the camera. That's the only thing that means you have to use this. To get audio into the camera, you need to plug into this box here, which is housing the monitor. Ooh, let me just show you that. And I think ooh, it's a broken monitor. That's pretty bad, isn't it? Look at that. See that? That's higher kit for you. So I'm not crazy keen on this system because, for example, when I have this on my shoulder, like this, I can't really, I'm going to unplug the headphones, I can't really see the monitor up there. The monitor's all the way up there and I'm like this. So, but you say, well, why do you do that? I say, I would do that, but then my arm will be out of action for about a week because this is heavy, man. This lens is heavy, this is heavy, this gubbins on the top is top heavy, so it's all pulling down there, so your wrist and your arm here is constantly vexed. So you need something, you need to rest this on some sort of shoulder mount. I'll show you what I use right now. So I use this here. This is the shoulder mount. This is about £15 on Amazon. There's lots of companies selling it now. I've modified mine. You get like, it's normally got a plastic disc there with like a metal bolt in it. I replaced the two washers. I took the plastic disc off and put the bolt and bolted some metal ones in there because this is pretty solid now. You can sort of adjust it. Like hooks over your shoulder thusly, and it'll sort of sit there, and then you can tighten that there. I've shown this before on videos, but it's a real cheap bit of kit, but it's perfect. Now it will screw into here, but the thing is, the camera is therefore just being pinned in with one connection, which is not like ideal. So I'll just tighten that up. But you'll see that for using this camera, it's kind of like the perfect setup, really. So my arm is now relaxed. It's not taking any of the strain at all. And also all the strain is going into my shoulder and pushing in here, so the energy has now been dispersed to my torso, and it's a much easier way to work. The only thing is that the monitor is way up there and I can't really see it very well while doing this, and I can't really put my eye to this. There is a contraption you get for this where you can bring the camera around to more about here, but I can't be bothered with all that gubbins. So what I normally do is have a monitor, proper HD monitor, and I'll have that on a light stand right next to me, and I'll be checking it with that. Essentially I am checking that, and that's why I use the peaking, you see. So I know that when I've got all those horrible lines around someone's head and that their eyes are all covered in red, I know that the peaking, which is this button here, is working. I also do mess around a lot with this color temperature. I don't trust it. I always have the lens on manual focus. The only thing I switch auto on this camera is the audio. So let's have a look at how I've rigged the radio mics. Just take the shoulder thing off so I can put it on the table, yeah? Okay, so here's the audio setup on this. I have two radio receivers here, and as you can see they go into the audio connectors thus, and then on the top you set the levels here, and the settings I always use is, well, I put them both to mic because these have got batteries in, so the feed is powered. I'll set them both to microphone, and this microphone here doesn't have a battery in it, so this microphone would need, if I was to switch to this top mic, I'd need to kill a radio, and then I'd probably have to set that to 48 volts. I'm not sure, maybe the mic doesn't need power, but that's one thing that can catch you out. And I do set it to auto, because my philosophy is a self-shooting PD, there's only so much we can do. You know, we're like buskers with those cymbals between our knees and the drums on our backs, and we're doing so many things. We are thinking about the sound, we're thinking about the camera, we're thinking about the focus, we're thinking about the exposure, the color temperature, we're thinking about the editorial from the person we're interviewing, we're thinking about the noise, we're listening to the sound. It's insane. So if I can alleviate any of my problems by changing that audio to not having to worry about it, the auto's fine. I've not ever had any complaints about it, and it's never given me any problem. I also set auto on the F800 because sound is, as long as it's clear and there's no crackles and there's no background noise that's distracting, I know I've got good sound. So I like to put them together so I can see where they are. So they're mounted on a little T-bar here on the back. I don't really need to get up to this monitor very often, I just use it as a very quick reference. And that's pretty much it. there's not really much more to tell you about it. Can't think of anything, but you know, if you've got any questions, you know who to ask. Well, that's it. That's my guide to how I rig the C300 when I'm shooting for broadcast television. I hope you found that reasonably interesting. I know I didn't. Sorry if you disagree with anything that I've done. I imagine the audio thing, most people are like, oh man, you have to do your own audio, man. You have to get your own levels, man. You can't set it automatic, man. I'm sorry if you're not exactly happy. I've been doing this an incredibly long time and I've worked out a system that works for me. So, if you don't like it, suck it up, as they say. Please let me know if you've got any questions about shooting on any cameras, really. I'll try and answer them. You can put them down in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Get me on Twitter. I'm at Flocktopusflood. It's been an absolute delight having you here with me in my bedroom.